niggas. Let's go, KD. Take a look around you, we can find your way, man. Find your way, man. We can find your way. Yeah, take a look around you, we can find your way, man. We can find your way. Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the rule. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said, take a look around you, nigga, find your way, man. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. I said, take a look around you, nigga, find your way, man. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. Hey, you the one that say that. You and me go way back. When this whole thing over, I'ma send my invoice, pay that. You don't wanna say that. You don't want this payback. I keep my composure, this my kingdom, nigga, stay back. We had a couple of moments. You had a choice, nigga, own it. Your real colors, they showing. I'm real, nigga, I'm focused. When I come around, I'm fly with it. Stay moving, do buy with it. New sound, just vibe with it. Same truth and we die with it. I see it like it's an obstacle. I never sit on the fence. Nothing to me is impossible. Music of me to the end. Most of the shit is illogical. All of y'all niggas depend on what they pretend. Just think with your head. Stop looking at trends. You wearing your eyes like it's topical. Clearly now, the pain is gone. The fame is on. And they play my songs. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, I ain't talk is talk. And move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the rule. Got things to do. I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said, take a look around you, nigga, find your way, man. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. I said, take a look around you, nigga, find your way, man. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. New era, I got y'all. Real game, we pop off, no knockoffs. Open eyes, we watch out. Mobilize, won't cop out. COVID-19 cops out, don't flop now. Open skies, we fly now. New agenda, they try now. Most y'all getting real scared of the headlines we find out. End game getting real near. If you don't know, you behind now. Behind the times, government hide behind the lines. Most brands trying to monetize. All of us have to stay inside, don't socialize. Talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change the rule. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said, take a look around you, nigga, find your way, man. Find your way, man. Find your way, man. I said, take a look around you, nigga, find your way, man. Find your way, man. Find your way, man.
Swole, Normuth.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
What's going on, beaches, booshes, bustas, hustlers, and yo hoes? It's your boy Papa Swolio back with another episode. In today's episode, the Beastcast is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everesting K2, flexing on all you beaches. Welcome to the show. Fam, thanks for being here. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. We're live on Rumble and YouTube at The Daily Swole. And of course, join us over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and share the show with your friends. And why not share the show with your enemies too? If you have people that hate you, send it to them, because you're essentially telling them to go to the fucking gym because they're fat and they should go to the fucking gym. So share with your friends and your enemies, and let's get into it. We got a couple comments before we get started into the merch pick, and then we'll get into some proof of sleep. We got some stuff from the Swole fam, but I want to give a shout out. We got a couple. We got one from Cerny and one from Danny on YouTube. Thank you so much for the response. Really stoked, because we launched these last week. I guess it's been like 2 weeks at this point. It was last Monday, not this past Monday. Danny says, love the main gains. I've been using it for about a week now. My beard has never felt softer. That's what I'm talking about. Excellent. Nice soft beard. So let us know what the ladies think, Danny. Really stoked. They're going to be flocking around you. Ooh, is that main gains? And Danny's going to be like, yes, it is. How'd you know? Cerny says, I used the seed, the scalp seed and main gains. Hair's looking absolutely swole. Well, that's fantastic. Love to hear it. And of course, keep us posted. Let us know what you think about the Bull Cream and all the other products. And remember, consistency of use, combining that with sunshine and proper nutrition and proper sleep, it's just another factor that's going to help your hair and your skin look absolutely glorious. So thank you for the feedback, and we'll definitely be reaching out for some testimonials and stuff as we continue to roll out these products and more people jump in over at papaswolio.com. So check out the new products over there at papaswolio.com. We also have Creatine Barrel. That's the latest drop, obviously. The fiasco with Cracker Barrel hath resolved, and they went back to their original logo, but we're still going to troll it, make fun of it. Creatine Barrel, Old Country Gains. I'm glad that they did that because it brought us to some awesome merch. So check out the Creatine Barrel merch. And of course, you get free shipping when you buy any 3 hair and body care products right now over at papaswolio.com. For merch, we have a buy one, get one. Not for the body care and the hair products, but for merch. So if you want to pick up some hats, some shirts, hoodies, flags, things like that, stickers, buy one, get one 50% off, not including the hair care and body care products, but you do get free shipping when you buy any 3. So you can get 3 main gains and you get free shipping. You can get 1 of each, 2, 1, 3 or more, you get free shipping. So go check out all the Dilly-O-Yos over there at papaswolio.com. It's all available. So let's get into the first post. We got this one. Ay vamos al puto gimnasio.
Hi,
You get a hi papi. Adrios. We got an underscore there, but we got the vamos al puto gimnasio. We got the door of the Swole Explorer shirt. That's great. Love it. Flexing. Look at the biceps. Let's zoom in on the gains. Hold on. Let me zoom in on the gains. Very nice. Look at that bulge. That's what she said. Looking swole. I'm assuming that's a bathroom pick or a gym pick. I don't know if that's a locker behind you or a fridge. Looks like a locker. Super stoked. Hopefully you need to get a bigger size soon for those gains. Look at the peak. Very nice. Thanks for sharing. Make sure you tag us on Instagram. That way we can share it. Now let's get into some proof of sleep. All right, we got more. We got to know. I want to know what you're doing to help improve your sleep because we know that sleep is essential. Abraham says, I leave my phone in the other room. Well done. Good choice. At least put it in airplane mode. Make sure Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and all that stuff is off, but definitely not having it in your room is going to keep you from the distraction. Brandy Dawn, this might be inappropriate, so I will leave it to your imagination. You're welcome. Smiley face. Whoa. Whoa.
Hi, puppy.
We got another hi papi. So Brandy, in order to get her sleep, apparently, she's talking about the plow plow, I suppose. All right, Brandy. You're welcome, I guess. I don't know. Is that visual something that I should be grateful for? I don't know what that. I don't know anything about you. Maybe it is something that my imagination would like. I don't know, but could be bad. It could be bad. I don't know. I don't know what that visual looks like. I can't tell from your avatar. So I don't know. I'm not making any assumptions. I'm just saying what everyone's thinking. Everyone's like, I don't know.
We choose truth over facts.
But get it. Good for you, Brandy. Hope says, sleep, what's that? I've tried ashwagandha tea, magnesium citrate, and I go to the fucking gym. I've had to resort to melatonin. I still wake up throughout the night. I don't take ashwagandha, and I certainly don't take magnesium citrate. I wouldn't recommend that unless you want to shit your brains out. I would recommend magnesium glycinate at night. There's some other things that you can do in the evening. Theanine, chamomile, apigenin, some of these things could be beneficial at night, but usually it's the habits. How close you're eating to bed, your micronutrient consumption, red lights at night, cold, dark room, other habits are much more important. So it's much more important what you physically do and your intent to sleep and the light around you. Cold, dark room, blackout curtains, that type of thing, than taking magnesium. Like that's not required to go to sleep. It's really the habits that surround it. But of course, having proper vitamins and minerals in your system is very essential. So that helps because a lot of people have deficiencies of magnesium and such. But go with magnesium glycinate and maybe you can get some feedback for some other habits. But I've never heard of ashwagandha tea. I know I know of ashwagandha. I don't take it, but is that something that people take at night? Is that like a thing that you're supposed to take at night or people say for sleep? Ashwagandha tea? Haven't heard of it. Meg says, making it a goal to stop sleeping in my car by the end of September. Well, that's a good goal. Are you without a domicile? Is that why you're sleeping? If so, good for you. And we wish you the best, unless you're sleeping in your car and that's keeping you from being able to sleep in your bed because you're napping. But I'm assuming you're talking about like on the macro. So if that's the case, we wish you the best. Rachel, people sleep? ? I was beginning to think that was a myth. Oh, it is not. I can't manage to sleep more than 5 hours a night. If I go to bed early, I'm tossing and turning all night and getting up every few hours. But if I go to bed late, I sleep almost soundly until sunrise. I think I broke my body clock. Yeah, you probably, I mean, look, I don't know. This is just what people type on Facebook. So I'm assuming, look, most people's habits and blue light and all the issues, most people, their circadian rhythms are so absolutely fucked up, and they're fucked up from the morning. You're not getting early morning sun. You're not setting your morning right. You're not setting the evening right. So it compounds over time. And then you have all these habits that are completely blown out of proportion. And you just perpetuate this for years and years. It makes it harder to undo these habits. So there are always other concerns. There's always other factors. It's not just going to sleep early. You can't just go to sleep 3 hours earlier and think you're going to fall asleep. People always assume that. Oh, I'm going to sleep at 1 a.m. I'm going to go sleep at 9 o'clock tonight. You're in bed and you're like wide awake. Your body doesn't change a rhythm like that. You need to, moving your sleep, even like half an hour can fuck up your hormones and fuck up your circadian rhythm. So you have to gradually move this earlier. You have to gradually shift it. You're not just going to be asleep by going to bed a couple hours earlier. It's not going to fix everything. It takes time. It takes time. Go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time. And that's the problem with people on the weekends, right? They work 5 days a week or whatever it is. And then on the weekends, they sleep in. It throws off their whole rhythm. They come back on Monday and then their rhythm is off. They're getting up super early. They feel exhausted. That's because you're not keeping your circadian rhythm the same on off days, and you're throwing it off. And the off days are fucking up your on days when it comes to work if you're getting up early. So you have to keep it the same every day. You really do. Very important. Very important. All right, let's get into that tip. We got some Swole fam.
Babe,
Oh,
just an inch, just an inch. It's cold outside.
all right. So Swole text time. For many of you, it's a long weekend. I guess this weekend is Labor Day weekend. I guess people have Monday off. You could drop in the comments. For many of you, it's a long weekend coming up. How are you planning to stay on track and focused? We got one from Ana Luisa. I have my workouts planned out and my alarms on my phone so I can hydrate well. Good stuff. Christopher says we do not have parties or gatherings. We don't go hang out with people who aren't invested in their health and themselves, and we don't buy garbage food to celebrate. We still maintain our weekend gym schedule, and the missus and I do not fill ourselves with alcohol all weekend long because we're off on Monday. Breaking the consistency kills the momentum. Straight facts. Danny says easy. By just planning or continuing to the same as I have been, sticking to the plan and the pillars, only I might actually get a little extra recovery time in. I work 2 jobs and I actually have 3 days in a row off. Usually I have 1 off day. So good for you. Enjoy that extra time and use it to your advantage, right? We all have the same amount of time. It's how you use your hours in the day and you can be more efficient. Lindsay says, I have been injured from, fluoroquinolone. What is that? Toxicity. So no heavy strength training for me. I'm just now where I can do light exercise and walking. I'm going to do yoga daily, walking and mostly meat for food, a little fruit in the morning, and I'm staying away from simple carbs for the time being to try to reduce as much inflammation as possible. Thank you for all the nutrition and fitness advice. Okay. I don't know what that is. So I'm sorry to hear that. Now, in terms of inflammation, I guess depends on what type of inflammation you're referring to. And depends on what kind of fruit you're consuming. But yes, avoid anything that's going to aggravate your situation. I do not know about that toxicity issue. If anyone else has some context, or you want to look that up and drop in the chat, I haven't heard of that. I don't know what that is. Mary says, lots of protein. Drop in the chat. I haven't heard of that. I don't know what that is. Mary says, lots of protein, fruit, and lifting, and maybe a little boxing. Go get it, Mary. Riley says, tracking my macros still this week for you.
And that's the way, I like it.
Sydney says to get some barefoot morning sun when the sun's coming up, grabbing coffee and heading to the garage to lift. Getting this done early in the morning helps my husband and I to stay on track for the day. I make breakfast after, and we're going to do, it's obviously phone, sometimes the phone autocorrect or whatever. We get steps when we go run our errands or go check out a new town or place. Okay, good for you. And when you go for a walk, make sure you leave your phone or turn it off. Get your steps. Having a dog is great for going for a walk, but use your thoughts, zone out. You don't need something in your ears all the time. You don't need to be scrolling on your phone. Make sure you're in the moment. Reed says she got poisoned by antibiotics. So that's an antibiotic? Yeah. Antibiotics, look, we have amazing scientific progressions in our society, but antibiotics, remember, they kill good bacteria too. So antibiotic just means anti-life. And that's the problem with antibiotics. People pop them for everything. Really, honestly, unless you absolutely need it, you should be avoiding antibiotics because it destroys your gut biome. And if you do have to take a round of antibiotics, do so by the instructions. This is not medical advice, et cetera, et cetera. But you really need to work on repopulating your gut. So probiotic food, sauerkraut, kefir, fermented pickles, things like that can help repopulate the gut and rebuild. But a lot of damage is done. That takes a long time to come back. So it's really bad for your gut. Even things like ibuprofen, you really want to stay away from any of these things as much as possible. And really, when it comes for the body, in terms of healing, just some other thoughts. A lot of this, if you think about what you're trying to do when you're not feeling well, or you're trying to aid your body, when you're trying to help and improve, right? Let's say you're trying to improve your skin, you're trying to improve your hair, skin, and nails, right? We have mane gains and scalp seed, and we have bull cream, and of course, nutrition. What you put in your environment, what you put on your body, what you expose your body to, the environment you put your body in, this is what we're talking about. You want to put your body in a position where it can heal itself. That's really what you're doing. You're providing your body with good food. That's good environment. Sunlight, sleep, meditation, lower stress, these types of things. Cleaner water, filter your water, air filters. If you live in more of they're beneficial anywhere. You have dogs, you have cars going by. You should have air filters. You should have high quality air filters in most rooms of your house. You should be cleaning your air. Put your body in a position where it's going to have higher quality water, air, food, sun, monitored and managed stress. Again, 7 pillars, all the things that you can control. You can't control what your neighbors do. You can't control what the highway does. You can't control what the federal government does. You can't control those things. So you're always in receiving mode. You're on your phone. You're just receiving information that your phone wants to show you, that these social media apps want to show you. Use your phone, use these things as tools, but put your body in an environment with your physical things, your food, your water, all the things that are required for your body to survive and thrive, and allow your body to heal itself, because it will heal itself if it has the right environment. And that's what you're trying to do. All right, knowledge cock. Let's get into some questions. Ready? Drop your questions in the comments down below. Hashtag AskPapaSwolio. Danny says, ashwagandha makes many claims. It claims to help with mood stabilization, appetite suppressant, stress relief, and sleep, among many other things. I've heard ashwagandha be kicked around a lot. I don't take it. I don't believe I ever have. Sterling says, this is a question earlier, says, I heard recently about ashwagandha, that it can help with muscle and strength. Is there real science behind this, or is it more of a supplement fad? Should I consider it for gains? I don't know details on it. I don't take it. So, I don't have any personal experience or recommendations for that. I don't take it. When it comes to helping muscle and helping this, what really helps muscle? Training properly, having a proper program, proper food. Really, those foundations and those things really need so much more attention. And a lot of these other things are kind of maybe spackling around the edges. I don't look at people and be like, oh, they're not getting progress. They must need some ashwagandha. I'm not saying it doesn't help either. Again, I'm not saying I don't have the personal experience with it. But usually it's going to come from all these other deficiencies like sunlight and magnesium and enough protein or proper carbohydrate intake. A lot of times you have people that are trying to lose fat and build muscle at the same time. And what happens? They're not focusing enough on strength training. They're overdoing their strength training. They're not eating enough carbohydrates. They get flat. They get burned out. They feel like they're dragging ass when really just need some more carbohydrates, or they need to adjust their programming because you will lose strength, or the potential is to lose strength when you're cutting calories a lot or you're cutting down on carbohydrates. So you really need to focus on strength training, but also managing the volume, because you're not going to be able to train as intensely or as long if you are in more of a caloric restriction, if you're trying to drop some body weight or some extra body fat. So make sure you're focusing on building muscle and maintaining your strength and building your strength no matter what you're doing. Mark says, I use it. It does lower your give a fuck-o-meter. Is that right? Does ashwagandha have some side effects of being irritable? Is that true? I'm not going to take that then. I don't think I don't think the world needs me to give less of a fuck. I don't think that'd be a benefit for the content. I don't know. I'm already in the negative. I'm already in the negative when it comes to fucks given. So I don't think I need anything to lower my give a fuck-o-meter. I don't think we need to go that direction. I think we're good. I think I'm all set. All right.
What's in the box?
We'll take some more questions. If you want to follow up with more topics, if you take ashwagandha, if you want to discuss it a little bit more, drop in the chat. Carly Visser, Papa Swole, can you go to the gym too much? No resting days, ? 68-year-old woman. Well, really cool response. I mean, stoked to hear that you're 68, female, looking to go to the gym. Can you go to the gym too much? Yes and no. Gyms have a lot of features. If you're going to the gym and you're walking on the treadmill, you could do that every day. If you're going and using the sauna or the cold plunge, or you're in the steam room, you could go to the gym and do some yoga. Some people go to the gym, they do their yoga classes at the gym or some stretching, but you should not be lifting intensely every day. For the average person, and that includes myself or most people that are just trying to build 3 to 4 times a week. If you're training intensely enough, that's what you're going to be able to recover from and maintain. That's a good ballpark. I'm not saying you can't do more, but you need recovery. So you definitely need rest days. I say go to the fucking gym every day, because even if you're not training, you're still on your program. If you look at a program, let's say Maximum Swole, it tells you, hey, here's the split. You take as many recovery days in between as you need to maintain that split. If that split doesn't work for you, if you can't maintain your training split long term, okay, you can adjust your training split. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you find that you're always not able to keep up with it, you're not able to recover, you're doing X amount of sets, X amount of volume, you're training push-pull legs or upper lower, and you're doing 4 days in a row and then 1 day off or 2 days off. If you can't maintain that, it's a programming issue. If you're not making progress, it's a programming issue. For the given sleep, for your given nutrition, whatever it is, you're doing too much or it's not ideal. So if you can't maintain your training split long term, what I mean by long term is not forever. Nothing's forever. But I would say if you can't maintain your training split for a few months in a row, then the split is not ideal. You're not able to recover from it. You need to adjust your programming. So you definitely need recovery days, but rest days. When you look at a program, let's say you're doing every other day, you're doing full body, you're doing upper, lower, or whatever it is. Monday, rest. Wednesday, rest. Friday, rest. It's rest, quote unquote, but guess what? On that Tuesday, when you're not doing intense training, that's still part of your program. It doesn't mean you sit around and do nothing. Go for a walk, do some yoga, maybe some light mobility, swing a club, go play some basketball, go for a bike ride, do the sauna, do something physically active, something that's going to help you recover, that's good for lowering your stress, that's something you enjoy. Be physically active. I'm not saying sit around and do nothing, but you're not going to be maxing out on a hack squat. That's my point. Okay? If you can recover and you can see progress and you're making progress and you're doing 5 or 6 days a week, I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong. If you're objective, like progress is objective. Are you making progress? Cool. But if you're burning out and you're getting injured and you're hitting a wall, like these are signs that you're not recovering properly and your programming sucks. You really want to be able to maintain this long term. So if you ever find that you're hitting a wall or you always have to add an extra recovery day, you always have to pull back, it's probably a sign that your fundamental programming needs to adjust. You might have thought it was good, but then it kind of wears away at a phrase at the edges. And you might be able to maintain a certain split or a certain volume for a week or two, or maybe 3, and then it kind of falls apart. Maybe it's something you should go back and look at. What's your exercise selection? How much volume are you doing? Maybe you have to adjust a couple things and then you're able to maintain it longer. So, Newham938, Papa Swole, are you happy with your life? Ooh. Are you happy with your life? I don't like the term happiness. You need to find your peace. Find peace and find purpose. And happiness is a choice. So you can feel happy. You can feel in a good mood. That's just your choice. Every day you could feel happy. But what most people don't have and what most people should be pursuing is peace. Purpose and peace through purpose. If you have purpose in your life and you're doing things for a certain reason and you're constructing your life the way you want to, you'll have more peace. And I think that's going to be much more of a satisfaction type of response than, ooh, am I happy? Because sometimes you feel happy. Sometimes you don't feel happy. Sometimes it's raining and I'm like, "Rrr." But that's a choice. You could feel bummed out. Or you could feel excited. You can feel, this is something that is fleeting. It's like the weather versus the climate. The weather is going to change. Sometimes it's going to be cloudy. Sometimes it's going to rain. Sometimes it's going to be a storm. Sometimes it's going to be hot as balls. And in Florida, a lot of times it's hot as balls. So I don't really think about, am I happy? But I want to find peace. I want to find relaxation. I want to find peace through purpose is really how I think of it. I think if you have peace, it's a much better approach because that's something that you can aim for more than just my current emotional state. And that will lead to you feeling in a better mood more often. Just some thoughts there. I don't think happiness is a good term. Same way with love, right? Love your body. There's different types of love. I think love is a term that is just, you can't say that across to everyone. You can't say that. If you shotgun that on X or on Instagram, everyone's going to think of it differently. Everyone associates something different with love. And there's different types of love. There's friend love, there's romantic love, there's different types of love. But when it comes to peace, it's a little bit easier to define. It's still different for different people, but I think that's a much more worthwhile pursuit. Something a little bit more tangible for the individual, I would think. Space Shuttle Door Gunner, Papa Swole, for a 5-day push-pull legs, where would you incorporate farmer carries? Why would you do 5-day push-pull legs? I don't understand. How is that 5 days? Discuss. I don't do farmer's carries. I do dead hangs. Oh, that's why you're doing it. Training for an initial fitness assessment to be considered for the Fire Academy. Oh, cool. A friend of mine just went through that recently. So, all right, that makes sense. But here, right? That makes sense. So why would you do those? Not that they're bad, but why would you do them? You have an application. You have to do that for a certain job and a certain response. So good. That's where your training should be doing. I would say, where would you incorporate? So why is it 5 days? You could also do an upper lower. You don't have to do push pull legs. You might why not try upper lower 4-day? Then you're hitting legs twice and upper body twice. I'm assuming 5-day push pull legs. You're doing push pull legs, push pull, but then you're doing legs once a week. So my recommendation is would think about doing an upper lower split. Where would I incorporate farmer carries? Well, I wouldn't do it. I guess depends on your exercise selection overall. And how long you're doing it, how heavy you're doing it for. I wouldn't do it before a push day. You're doing 3 days in a row there. See, it comes with a bunch of other different things because farmer's carries, obviously you're not using straps. You're using your grip strength. So you might want to do grip strength on the leg day as long as you're using straps and wraps and stuff on a pull day, farmer's carries is grip strength, but it's also going to be traps too. So if you're doing traps or you're doing Kelso shrugs or something on a pull day, you might be more fatigued to do that on a leg day. You could do it first on a leg day, but I wouldn't exhaust. That might exhaust yourself from doing legs. And if you do it on a push day, you might exhaust yourself, or it might be fatiguing and negatively affect your pull workout. So you could do it at the end of a pull day. You could do it at the end of a leg day. It really depends on what your priorities are, because you want to train the things that you want to bring up the most when you're the most fresh. So you want to train them earlier in a workout. I personally wouldn't do a farmer carry first on any workout, but I would do something like today I'm doing lower body, and a lot of times I'll like to start my lower body and I'll do calves, but I'll do like reverse curls, or so I'll do some forearms. Sometimes I'll do biceps or arms on a leg day. It really depends on my split, depending on how I feel. I did I did upper a couple days ago. And when I was doing T-bar rows, I felt like a little twinge in my left bicep. I was like, ooh, I think my form broke a little bit, or who knows. So I felt a little sensitive. So I skipped biceps on my upper day. So I might do reverse curls on legs. Like today, I'll do like reverse curls, like 2 sets or something like that, just to get it started, a little forearms, calves, and then get into some leg workout. So it really depends. Ooh, it's getting hot in here. Just some thoughts. Push, pull, rest day before legs, rest day after legs, push, pull. So you're doing 2 in a row, 2 on, 1 off, legs off, but you're going off a 7-day cycle. You don't have to do a 7-day cycle is my point. And really the split doesn't matter. It depends on what you can recover from and the volume. But if you do upper, lower, you could do upper rest, lower rest, upper rest, lower rest. Because it sounds like you like to take a day off after legs. You likely can just do an upper lower split and do every other day. And then you're getting everything twice a week on 4 days rather than 5. You get an extra recovery day. That's 3 extra days. You could always do some farmer's carries on one of those in between days, right? And only do farmer's carries. So if you want to focus on farmer's carries, you could just do upper rest, lower rest. You could do farmer's carries after a leg day, or on the day before you do legs. You could only do farmer's carries, right? You can kind of like an in-between workout. Maybe you're doing a little cardio or something. Could be an idea with yoga. Just some thoughts, because if you get an extra recovery day in there and give you a little open room to focus on some other like specialties, for example. Remember, there's only so much time in a day, and there's only so much recovery, and there's only so much you can do as a human being. There's only so much effort. There's only so much stimulus. And I'm not telling you to be we talk a lot about fatigue and exhaustion, because there's local fatigue and there's cumulative fatigue, where after a couple of weeks, you might just feel worn down and burnt out. I don't want you to be afraid of fatigue. You know, for most of my life, I trained hard, and I just fucking, push it to the limit no matter what. But as I found, when you push closer to failure, like 0 or 1 rep in reserve, it just takes much more out of you. I'm not saying don't train hard, push yourself, but just keep in mind, if you're not seeing progress, again, if your weights are not going up, if you're not getting stronger, you're not seeing progress, that's a sign that something's not working. So it's something to look at and adjust. If you're doing A, B, and C and you're kind of hitting a wall, this is something to look at. Are you doing too much volume? Are you doing redundant exercises? Maybe you shouldn't train all these movements from the lengthened position, because it will cause more soreness. Maybe you're doing too slow of an eccentric that's causing a lot more soreness, and it's unnecessary, and you can reduce the your CNS fatigue by not focusing as much on the eccentric, for example, in certain movements for a lengthened position, because it is more taxing on the body. And this stuff does build up over time. If your soreness is lingering, you might have just overdid it. You might just be doing more than you need. If you're getting super sore and it's lingering, you're doing more than you need. It's just a sign that you can go and reassess things and readjust things. Alejandro, and that's literally his name. Alejandro, Papa Soy, what's your opinion on the HMB supplements? I have no opinion. I've seen the acronym, vaguely aware, but I do not take it. I do not have an opinion, but thank you for the question. Mason Sinclair, 808. Big fan. What's the best lift for the lower titties? There is none. There is none. You're talking about the sternal pec or the clavicular pec. And any kind of pressing movement is going to be great for the sternal pec. What you're dealing with is body fat. So most people have plenty of lower chest. They're just body fat is too high and it looks more smooth. It'll look more smooth and you might have like some softness here because you just have more fat. Once you lose the fat, you'll get more of the separation under the pec. But a lot of people will just need to get leaner. So any kind of chest press, right? Smith machine press, barbell, dumbbell, pec flies. These are all great choices. Even like pullover. And especially if you're going full stretch from like pull downs overhead, you're like the initial part of the movement for a pull down, if you're going full stretch, is the chest. That's why if you really want to focus on lats, you suck your stomach in around your back, lean back a little bit, and you pull. You don't go for like a full stretch because you're getting more pec. You just kind of keep it more in like a limited range. That's going to hit the lats more. So if you want to hit the lower tits, you really just need a bigger chest and to be leaner. That's what you're really talking about. Okay. Do I have an OnlyFans account? I have an Only Swole account. Go to onlyswole.com. AJ says, posture correction routine. Very vague. Yoga, mobility. We have shoulder awareness and glute awareness programs. Check out all of our stuff. SwoleNormousX.com. Download the SwoleNormous app and check out all our programs there. That's a vague question. Sterling, what's on your wall? Looks like Post-it notes. They're Swole cards. That's why we give them away at the end of every episode. Oh, I didn't list a Swole card today. Or hashtag Swole. The Swole card must have fallen down. So hashtag Swole, we'll give it away, but I don't have it on the visual today. That's right. Hashtag Swole for a chance to win today's Swole card. All right, balls deep. Let's move on. Let's get into it. And then we will have, our meeting on Monday. We're off over the weekend. We'll have some Swolosophy for you on the Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Where are we here? Balls deep. Let's see here. All right, let's get into some other stuff. You have last chance questions. You could drop it. We'll maybe get a couple more. Let's see what we got here. This one says, don't feel bad for parents. Don't feel bad for parents. Let's.
Sick of this, y'all.
Yo.
This shouldn't happen. There's no excuse for this.
Ugh.
And it seems like school pew-pewing season starts earlier and earlier every year. And we just allow it. I feel terrible for the kids. I feel so bad for not just the victims, but the people who witnessed it and will now have to live with that for the rest of their lives. I don't feel bad for their parents. This happened at a Catholic school. There should have been no children there at all.
What? Why?
We know what the church does to kids, so...
We know what trans mentally insane lunatics do to kids, apparently. They try to murder them. What is happening here? What the fuck is this?
I feel terrible for the kids. May the universe protect them from their Catholic parents. And the church. Y'all can shove your thoughts and prayers right where the brightest of the suns don't shine.
Is that where your latest surgery was?
How far up that black hole of yours that even your God can't see 'em or hear 'em. because I'm all out of compassion for Christian nationalists.
I don't think you know what that is.
Fuck y'all. You did this.
Wow. So we have a man here pretending to be a woman with a trans flag in the background. And so you feel bad for the kids, but you don't because they're supposed to die? Because you and your other mentally insane lunatics think it's okay to kill children in a church? You sick fuck.
You keep using the word.
Bring back mental.
What you think it
I'm just
means.
gonna bring back mental. We need insane asylums. We need these people off the streets. That's really what we need. Doesn't bring me joy to say that, but we need these people out of society, like where they can get help. If you're not mentally stable, you do not get to be a part of our society anymore. We need to have the institutions and the infrastructure in place to get these people the serious mental health like help that they need. Really gross. Yeah, I don't think asylums will help, but if they're at an asylum, they're not on the streets. So that's a benefit. All right. This is called I Don't Think It Gets Better, obviously.
What's in the box?
You know, they say it gets worse before it gets better. Well, this one says identifies as a woman, so I guess it does get worse before it gets better. For us, at least.
So right now I want to talk about my experience as a trans woman going to the spa.
Are there any women here today?
Well, I could be wrong, but I believe diversity is an old wooden ship that was used during the Civil War era.
Thomas says they just put them on drugs. Well, they're on drugs now, so at least we'll get them on drugs that doesn't confound their delusions and make it worse, I suppose. All right, let's continue.
I'm not going to mention the specific spa I'm at for...
As a trans woman, I want to talk about my experience at the spa. I want to talk about my spa experience as a trans woman. You're a man. Stop using the terminology. There's no such thing. Okay? These are mentally ill people. There's no such thing as a trans child. That's a mentally disturbed parent or guardian or teacher, a groomer, someone who's feeding into this delusion that a child does not naturally have. Okay? Reed says, I bet he wants to get waxed, calling it now. Oh, God, you're probably fucking right. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. It puts the wax on its pubes. It puts the wax on its... I need that Buffalo Bill. It puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
Safety reasons, they have been pretty accommodating.
Reed's going to be right.
I wouldn't even say accommodating. I would say accepting of my gender identity.
Uh-huh.
And I don't want that to change if I let the internet know where I've been able to be safe as a trans woman.
This is fucking shit.
Anyway.
If you're just listening, this is a black guy with hoop earrings and a shaved head, by the way.
I have been to this spa before. The first time I was here, I was the only one here when I showed up, and the woman asked me, and I think I had my hoops in, but I probably had like around the same amount of facial hair I have now. I didn't have lip gloss or anything. I don't think I had lip gloss on that, but I'm pretty sure I had my hoops in, or I had earrings in, and I had some facial hair. And that first time, the woman asked me which locker room, what gender you identify with, and I said, I'm a woman, I identify as a woman. And then she took me to the female locker room, and that was the first time I had been in a female locker room, and it was so humanizing because it was set up to humanize.
So what happened here? Do we actually know what the hell the problem was? Do we actually know what the issue was? I don't even know if I got really a complaint. What was the actual issue? I tuned out, to be honest. I don't think he even said anything. I didn't pick up on anything. Did anyone pick up on anything? Mick B on YouTube, is creatine unhealthy? No, it's not. Matt the Great, we wouldn't tell an anorexic person. This is probably the most obvious and the most important aspect of all of this. So Matt the Great says, check this out. Okay. We wouldn't tell an anorexic person to embrace their true self. So why do we tell these mentally ill people that, yeah, you're a woman because you feel like it? Think about every other disease, right? So let's say, again, a thought experiment. Someone comes in, right? They're rail thin. What's that girl's name on YouTube? Is she still alive? I forget her name, but she's like Skin and Bones. Made some videos on her a couple years ago. I remember, like, horrific, literally concentration camp, World War II. Looked like she just got out. Horrible, horribly anorexic, like bad. You wouldn't tell her that she's fat. You wouldn't tell her that she needs to eat less. You wouldn't say, girl, yes, queen, you look great just the way you are. Keep it up. Keep it up. You look like you could lose another 4 or 5 pounds. That's what you're saying. Yeah, Eugenia. Yeah, right. Eugenia Cooney or something, right? Eugenia. Oh, thank you. That's pretty right. That sounds right. That would just be evil. You'd be encouraging someone to kill themselves because that's what you're doing. They're starving themselves. So think about how insane that would be. You go to get help and they actually encourage you to eat less. So you say, hey, I'm a woman. And you go in there and they're like, yeah, you're right. You're a woman. Let's give you these hormones. Let's cut your dick off. Let's, give you fake implants. Let's invert your penis inside you and, get you laser on your dick so you don't have a hairy inside faux puss. That's a weird thing to encourage. So if you think about, that's the perfect example. You would not tell an anorexic person to embrace their true self. That's fucking lunacy. Same thing with this. It's no different. It's no different. It's really wild. Really wild. When you put it in the framing of anorexia or something, it's like me telling a morbidly obese person who's 500 pounds to keep on eating. No, you're perfect just the way that you are. Don't listen to anyone. Just keep on eating. Maybe if you get to 550, bigger the better. It's gross. That'd be fucking wild. So why are we doing it with these other diseases? Why are we doing that with these other apparent and obvious mental illnesses? Anyway, what are your thoughts? Drop in the comments. Slam Bro on YouTube. Thank you. You helped me lose 130 pounds since October. Whoa.
Wow.
Dude, that's like a year. You do good work, even if it's a hard pill to swallow. Appreciate you. You have a huge heart. Why, thank you. That's not the only thing that's huge.
Because
that's what she said. But thank you, Slam Bro. Appreciate you and good work. That's awesome. 130 pounds since October. So that's like 10 months, 10, 11 months. That's fantastic. Good for you. Terry trains arms sometimes. Papa Swole, what are you hitting today? I'm doing legs. Today's a lower body day. I was going to do it yesterday, but I felt drained. I just need an extra day of recovery. Whatever I did for upper body, I did 3 sets of pec deck for chest, and I didn't think I shouldn't have done 3 sets. I mean, I guess I'm still fucking sore. It really got me in some kind of way. Yeah, my upper body workout took a little bit more out of me than I thought. So I took an extra day off because I just felt a little bit sore. I felt a little drained. Sometimes you got to pivot and just add another recovery day. So that's how I usually do it. I do every other day for the intense training. And if I need an extra one, I take an extra one, which is fine. Like if you're doing full body 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, taking the weekend off, even doing upper lower, if you're doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off, Thursday, Friday, upper lower, and then taking Saturday and Sunday off, that's another way to do it. Personally, I just like to do. So if you're doing it, I mean, it's just, I expand it a little bit. I just do every other day. I can do 2 days in a row. It's not like I haven't done it or I don't do it. But generally, I like to give a little bit. Because when I look at that, that means every time I go into my workout, I'm coming off like a recovery day, you know? So then it just helps all my lifting because every day is coming off something fresh. I go into upper body day. I'm coming off a recovery day, so I feel fresh. Lower body day, I'm coming off a recovery day, feeling fresh. Also, my legs were a little bit sore because I did 4 sets. I did a little bit extra volume. But I'll usually do, for legs, I'll usually do a quad focus day or a day where I'm doing a little bit more overload for quads. I might do 2 different exercises for quads, and then I'll do more of a glute and ham focused day. I'll still do hamstrings and glutes, but it won't be like the main focus. So I kind of go back and forth a little bit, but usually upper lower. Usually upper lower. I train in the heat though. So most of my training is outside, and I think it just takes, I don't know, it's been really hot. So it takes a lot more out of me. I think I just need to adjust my volume a little bit sometimes because I'll come in, I go off my workout, I'm drenched. So yeah, there would be benefits to training inside where it's like 65 degrees in the gym. A lot of you probably have gyms where it's nice and like cool. I'm outside in the fucking humidity and it's 93 degrees and old school Ronnie Coleman style. He was out in like Arlington, right? Or those Metroflex gym back in the Costa Redemption, like in 2002. And he has no air conditioning, just fans, and it's hot as balls. So it takes a lot out of you, man. It does. The heat and the sweat and all the fluid, the water you lose. Oh, like my shirt. I'll probably wear this Forest Pump. It'll be just like soaked. Like I put on the ground slop and like my pants just wet, drenched. So it takes a lot out. And then I'm usually doing the sauna too, or I'm out in the garden. It's just managing all the heat can be intense in the summer. So sometimes what I try to do is I'll try to do like 1 or 2 exercises inside, like go in, go out, go in, go out. That way I'm like cooling off a little bit because it's a lot. It's hard to hydrate for that and to replace that. And you guys know what I'm talking about. You played football or soccer or whatever it is, like in the heat outside, you know, it's just doing anything in peak heat is just brutal. Anyone that played football, did 2-a-days or intense practices and shit like that, you know, it's just really hard to hydrate for it. That's why electrolytes are so important. It's not so much that you need more water, but you lose a lot of salt, potassium, magnesium, and things. So you want to load up on that first. So much sweat to the point where like I'll leave something on the edge of a hamper, or I'll leave it on the floor, or I leave it outside, and then you come out later and I hold it. It's like crispy. It's all like flat, like a pancake. All the sweat and the salt just makes it like a hard, crusty. Jarella says, I used to do CrossFit outside in 97 degrees southeastern summers on blacktop. Every part of me would sweat. I don't miss that. Indoor for life. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Now, my gym is covered. So I have, I put up a nice metal canopy. And usually it's not in the heat, in the sun. There's a couple pieces of equipment I need to get covered because I can't even take off the covering I have and train it because it's just cooking in the sun. My donkey calf raise is just like cooking in the sun. So I need to get that covered so I can use it again. It's just too hot during the day. But at least I'm not sitting in direct sun, but sometimes I am, and man, it's brutal. It's brutal. So I've talked loosely about this in the podcast with Mama Swole too, just thinking that that's something that has like led me to kind of wanting to do more of like a push-pull legs where it's splitting up the volume. So it's not as long each workout. Full body just kind of got a little bit long for me. Upper lower is pretty good. It's manageable, but it's still, I only have so many sets. I can do before I'm just wiped out just because of the heat. But we manage and we move on. Mark asked, you finally got the canopy up. It's up. It's pretty much, you know, there's a couple little things on the sides. I have to do another one though, because I have some more overflow. I got to sell a couple pieces of equipment. I need to sell a couple things. There's a few pieces of equipment that I need to move out just to open up some room and things I don't really use as much. I have a bunch of redundant machines. I have a bunch of chest machines and stuff, and I can only use so many, and I just don't use all of them. I like them all, and a lot of the piece of equipment, some of the pieces of equipment I paid like, you know, higher prices for, and some of them I just got great deals. So a bunch of things when I was buying the equipment 2 years ago, I got them because it was just a sick deal. So it was just like too good to miss, and I jumped on it. So it's balanced out. It's balanced out. Let me get Platzi off you. I might. I don't know if I can sell that. I haven't used it. I have to sand it down because it's a little bit rusty. I don't know if I could sell that one, man. I might. Mama Swolio said, or you could put it in the garden and just grow vines on it and stuff like that. I'm like, I could make it like an ornamental piece in the yard, but I would feel bad. Because I'd want it to be used. I wouldn't want it to just sit there and like decay. I like it too much. I might try to fix it and use it just for like sissy squats or something, but I don't know. We'll see. I love it. I love that machine. So for those of you who don't know, that was one of the older machines I have, but I have to fix it up and clean up a little bit. I really hope. It's also kind of sketchy, by the way. The machine is kind of sketchy. It's really well made, but it's sketchy. It's sketchy. So I have, in terms of the leg, that's my leg. Well, that's not the only leg section. So I have a pendulum squat. I have 2 hack squats. I have that old one is Platts. That old one is Platts. The new one is Tom. So I have Platts and Tom. Now I'm not selling Tom. I don't think I'm never going to sell that one because that's a rare machine. That's hard to come by. That's a first gen Cybex hack squat. I love that machine. I got a squat press. I have an Atlantis leg press. So I have linear and pendulum machines, which are it's cool for adjusting. I've been really liking the band on the hack squat machine too. I don't know if you guys have ever done that. You've probably seen it online. We've talked about it, but you could band a hack squat. So you tie bands around, or a band around the top, and it takes out the stress at the bottom, kind of like a pendulum squat, where a pendulum squat or a squat press where the quads have the most leverage at the top, it will be harder as you extend the knee. So it challenges the quads more when the quads are stronger. You could do that by reverse banding a hack squat. So it takes a little bit of the stress out of the bottom, out of the hole, and then challenges the quads more when they're stronger at the top because the band gets more slack. So it's a really cool way to smooth out the hack squat, and I actually like it a lot more. So I haven't done, because I had a pendulum squat, so I didn't do reverse banded hacks, but I started doing it more recently, and I really do like them. So it's a cool way to turn a hack squat machine into kind of like a pendulum profile where you can put a band at the top and then it'll help you out of the hole. So if you really want to work more of like, hit a little bit more of the adductors, you don't have to band it. But if you're trying to focus more on quads, you can reverse band the hack squat and then it'll challenge your quads more at the top of the movement and less at the bottom. It's easier on the knees too. So something to think about if you want to play around with that. Yeah, I used to do that. Maybe I should get back into it. Thomas says I work outside as well. I like doing cryo before working out, helps a little. I used to do that. I used to do cold plunge, and then I would get out of the cold plunge, kind of warm up a little bit and do like reverse sled and stuff like that and start training. I stopped doing that though. I stopped doing that because I remember looking into some stuff, how cold plunge negatively affects hypertrophy if you do it right after. You don't want to ice right after training. But I also read that doing it right before can have similar effects. I'm not sure if that's true. But a lot of times I'll do just cold earlier in the day because I used to do cold and then warm up for my training. So you could do that. You could do that too. Maybe I'll get back into that again. But I like just dunking my face. Sometimes in the middle of a workout, I'll just go over the cold plunge and just dunk my face into it and then go back to training. Even dipping your hands in the cold water is actually good for like thermoregulation. I think that was kind of a couple years ago, right? They had these like cold mitts. Like if you put on these cold gloves, it actually changed the physiology in the sense that it helped you recover in between sets if you just put your hands into like cold gloves, just because you have a lot of thermoreceptors in your hands and things like that. So something to think about, but yeah, just look into it. Look into it. I don't think it's definitely, in my opinion, it'd be better to do a cold plunge before you train than after. If you're going to do it around your workout, do it first. That would be my suggestion. That's what I would do. I definitely don't do it after, though. Michelle says, where's Pinky? We can see Mr. Mustard. Oh, you could see Mr. Mustard. Well, yeah, Mr. Mustard's there. There's the Mustard Man. And he's been very excited because here's Pinkston Churchill. Yeah. Aww. Hi, Pinks. There's Pinkston. And Rufus has been really excited because he had some chicken necks and chicken feet yesterday. And he was like, what the fuck was that? Because I haven't given him chicken feet before. And he's like, follow me. Or after he ate one, he's following me around like, dude, bro, what was that? That was awesome. What was that? He's like wagging his tail, looking at me like, I don't know what that was, but is there more? What'd you just give me? Just pounded that shit. All right. So we're good with this. Let's give away. We got the Swole card. Hashtag Swole. We'll give it away. I don't have the visual in the card. But then let's do a throwback. We'll do this. We'll do the Swole card. We'll do the throwback first, and then we'll raffle off the Swole card. How about that? Let's do a TBT first. All right. Let's do this one with the animals. I kind of vaguely remember this.
So excited you are here. We could use another dog.
Oh, nice collar.
Oh, hell no.
This dog has pink eyelashes for some reason and has a rainbow collar. So this is pedophilia propaganda.
No, actually, I like to play with yarn. I like to clean my paws like this.
Oh, a dog can be a cat. Bullshit.
What the fuck? And we could try to meow.
What?
This is so fucking stupid.
Why not?
Yeah, let's go.
Excuse me, would you? I have to go for a second. I'll be right back.
Fucking based.
Miss Madison, we've got to talk.
He seems like a nice guy.
Oh, great guy, great guy. He thinks he's a cat.
Well, that's okay, isn't it?
Well, I think you should talk to him.
Get rid of him.
It's weird.
It's not weird, just different.
Yeah, it's weird.
Accepting people for who they are is a very important skill. We accept you for who you are.
That's different. I'm a dog who acts like a dog.
Fucking based.
Fucking. Yeah, dogs can be cats just like boys can be girls, and you can choose what you want. And they're starting young. Make sure you watch what your kids are watching and screen it first. If your kids want to watch something, watch it first and see if it's not embedded with this kind of pedophile propaganda. Nathan, I'm in the gym for 30 minutes a day and I eat about 250 grams of protein. Wow. And about 2,900 calories. I used to spend an hour and eat less. I don't know why it works. I eat much more and work less. Well, it depends on what you're spending that time for. Is that a question or a statement? 250 grams of protein, that's a lot. How big are you? I don't even need 250 grams. You just need about 0.8 per gram body weight. I don't need 250. You definitely don't need 250 every day. Just a thought. You might feel better if you do more carbs and less protein. Just some thoughts. Keep doing what works, though. Let's see. Candyman says, that sounds like some crazy workouts. I remember working out in the sun in Kuwait, 140-degree weather, but it's complete dry heat. Woof. Woof. Hell yeah. That's... Swole Sama says, I dip my wrists and handle under cold water to cool the system when it's really... And hands under cold water when it's really hot. Yeah. So that's a factor. My point is that these things are a factor, like how you train. So it's not just for me. It's not just, oh, here's the volume. Here's how many reps. Here's this. I'm also outside. It's 93 degrees and I'm drenched in sweat. It's much more exhausting than if I'm doing it in a temperature controlled 65-degree gym. I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm not saying I'm better than you. I'm training in the heat, but I have other elements of exhaustion that are factoring in. So, sometimes you have gyms that are kind of half and half. They have a lot of AC blasting. The doors are open because you're getting fresh air and sunlight and there's fans going, fans, and there's different things you can do. But if you're losing a ton of water and it's so fucking hot, you have to factor that into the fatigue and just the nervous system exhaustion. So I'm not saying one's better than the other, but that's how I train and that's my situation. So if you have something similar, you have to factor that in. All right, let's give away today's Swole card. Are you ready, Beaches? Swole card time. Let's give it away. Let's see what we got. Like I said, I don't have the cards on the ground or something. I'm not going to go pick it up. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Who put the Swole? Who dropped the Swole card? Who dropped the Swole card? All right, today's winner is... Don't eat too much of that stuff, man. It's going to kill you. Candyman156. Don't eat too much candy, though. Congratulations. On winning today's literal Swole card. It's a card that says Swole on it. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 3402 in the subject, and your mailing address in the body of the email. Congratulations. Candyman156. Awesome. Excellent stuff. And yeah, let's cover a couple other things. We got some good specials going on, papaswolio.com. Buy one, get one, 50% off all merch. We also have, it doesn't include hair and body care, but you get free shipping if you get 3 or more with the hair and body care. So buy one, get one, 50 off merch. Free shipping with 3 or more of the hair and body care products. So we got a lot of cool specials going on for Labor Day weekend. If you have an extra day, cool. If you don't, it's business as usual, but really, honestly, it's business as usual anyway. Attack your 7 pillars, execute, be consistent. We'll have some Swolosophy over the weekend. Join us over at swolenormousx.com. That way you can get access to all of our programs. Someone mentioned earlier, if it's just the app community, we have a Telegram. We have a Swole Fam Telegram chat for the constant back and forth. We got the Swole text where you get notifications and so on and so forth. And of course, we have the community section inside the app. So we have the app community, and then we have, which is like a straight timeline, and then we have the Telegram chat for the constant back and forth. No OT today. We did OT last week, and we had a new DWG. This coming week, we will likely have a roundtable next week, and then we'll also have a DWG. So we'll likely have all that plus a call next week. So we'll announce all that on Monday, and it'll be a good time as always. So Pam says, get some bull cream. It's so good. I agree. Pick up some bull cream. Really, really, really recommend it. A lot of you purchased the Morning Meadow, which has such a great scent. It really does have a tremendous scent. And of course we have unscented. You could add your own essential oils and make it what you want, but we have Morning Meadow and we have the unscented. And then when it comes to Main Gains has a really nice, and so is Scalp Seed, really nice scent to it, and real high quality. Everyone's mentioning in the comments earlier, they're talking about how beard's really soft, hair's really soft. It's great. Mama Swole, she puts it in my hair, brushes it through. It really feels so good. It feels so good. And even better than just the feel, it's knowing that you're putting good stuff in. So there's a psychological benefit where you're not getting phthalates, you're getting organic ingredients, you're not getting anything toxic. There's nothing about it that's going to, take you off your 7 pillars, and all it does is improve what you're putting on your body. And there's one of the most toxic places you'll find in anyone's house. I think probably the most toxic place is the bathroom, because and that's the craziest part. It's because when you're in the bathroom, you're putting this stuff on your body. You're not necessarily ingesting things in your bathroom, but you're putting it on your skin, you're putting it on your hair, you're slathering, you're soaping, you're putting in all your sensitive areas, your armpits, your crack, your balls, your puss. Like you're rubbing your body with all of these different products. Plus, when you're taking a shower, if you're taking a warm shower, it's steaming and it's in the air, right? You're like essentially cooking all of these different products. So it's really important what you have in your bathroom. You really don't want these toxic things, even with like plastic shower curtains. Those things break down, degrade, and off gas, and people get these cheap ones from China. And that plastic inner lining of your shower curtain is just degrading. And we talk about microwaving plastic and not eating plastic and consuming plastic. Well, you're bathing in it. You're steaming plastic. And it adds up over time. I'm not saying you take one shower with a plastic curtain and you're going to die. But you add this into everything else that people do. And there's no surprise that we have so much plastic in our bodies and our environment and issues and endocrine disruption and things like that. So anyway, thank you for supporting, and go check it out. Candyman says, how can I join it? If you're a member, over at Swole Enormous X, the link is in your Get Started series. So go into the app and it's right there. I saw someone, make sure if you download the app, make sure you go and leave a review on the App Store or Google Play. And there's no pleasing everyone. I mean, I think there was like a review where some guy was like, I couldn't find anything. There was nothing for the community. It just opened up, where do you find this? I couldn't figure out X, Y, and Z. And it's like, dude, all you do is you open up the app and you go to the thing that says get started. He's like, someone left a review that seemed like it was all confused and didn't have access to things. And where's this and where's that? And it's like, bro, let me just bring this up on the screen, show you how easy it is. You load up the app, and right there at the top of the app, you can't miss it, right? I'm not talking about Candyman. There's at the top, it says Get Started Series. And there's a video that's called Start Here. So you open the app and you click on the video that says Start Here. So for anyone that might be confused, like I don't even know how I can make it simpler to understand. I literally have a thing that says Start. You can't open the app without seeing it. And then it scrolls and you can download 7 pillars. Some people don't download the 7 pillars first. They sign up and okay, join Swole Text. There you go. You click on that. Join the Telegram channel. And you can find links to the podcast. So the Get Started series, you can click on View All and whoa, right? It's all there. So, and this is not about Candyman. This is about the other thing. So it just kind of got me off on this little tangent. So always looking to make the app easier to use and help people onboard more efficiently. I don't really know how else I can do that. I mean, I can make that front one bigger and have it like as big as the creatine barrel thing and be like, start here. But this is also something where if you're opening the app every day, I don't want you to have a big start here, start here, start here, because it's just, you don't need to start here every time. You just do it once. So it doesn't like put it front and center, like, as an obstruction. It just has something simple there. And then you can scroll down, check out the featured classes, popular sections. I have the bottom bar on here, right? You can do a search. You can search for things. You can go to your calendar. You can check out you can make your own custom playlists and things like that. So go and check that out. And if you click on Start Here, boom. And then it tells you, right? You got all this here. It gives you all the links, right? It tells you, even in the first video, introduce yourself, sign up for Swole Text, Get Started series, sign up for the Telegram chat. So it gives you all of those links right there in the first video. You don't even have to go to the next one. And gives you the user manual when you click on the resources section. So it's all there in the Get Started series right there at the top. And yeah, I mean, aside from that, it's kind of one of those things like, I don't know what to tell you. If that's confusing, look, I mean, and this is just one of those things you can't, and this is like when you're creating any kind of product or you're trying to guide anyone, there's still going to be people that are, this was hard to use. I clicked on this and it went right to podcasts. That was like in the review. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And we've checked every single link. Nothing just takes you right to podcast links. Nothing does. So you watch that Start Here video and then it tells you how to start because it's titled Start Here, because that's where you should start. So, but the cool thing is about any of these things, even if there is some confusion, once you find what you need to find, you know where to find it. So again, we're always trying to make the app better. And there are some things that we are working to improve. And there's going to be bugs, and there's going to be bugs that we have nothing to do with because there's an iOS update or you updated something else, and we have Android and Apple. So there's always going to be something where, hey, there's a new iOS update, 18.5.6.1. And it's like, fuck, now this doesn't work. So we're constantly, automatically the developers are always updating based on the operating system, but there's still some things that are in the works. So, but anyway, we're here for you. So you can always send us an email. You have the Telegram chat. You can ask questions. If there's bugs in the app, if you find something, you can comment on Telegram. We have a Telegram support group for the app. I'm not sure if we have links for that in the app, but members are already in there. So you can just post it up there. If you're a member, we can get you access to that. Maybe we don't have a link for that Telegram chat, but you can also just drop in the Swole Fam Telegram chat. We'll help you. If there's any issues, just send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. If you find something, email's the best, because then we can actually, when you send us an email, make sure if you have an issue, there's a couple things that you can add if you send us an email to support@swolenormous.com that can be really helpful. Like your name, your username, but also some of the things that we're going to come back with is, what operating systems do you have? Are you using Android or iOS? And that's just standard. So the more information you provide, and screenshots if you can, because we're going to ask for that because the developers always ask. So if you have something specifically, we need to know like what you're using, the context of what you're using. You have an iPhone, you have an Android, you have this operating system, because sometimes, you have to update to the new operating system. That's why you're getting that glitch. Or, there's a new app update. Go to your profile and then update the app. Or, we're pushing a new update, so that'll be taken care of. So, any kind of screenshots, if you have an issue, you have an error, screenshots are important because then we know what it actually looks like, because then we can pass it over. Hey, when this person uses this, they have this operating system, this phone, and this is what they see, they can find what might be broken. There's just so many moving pieces, so it can be hard. Sometimes it's easier if a bunch of people have an issue. It's like, okay, something's obviously going on this way. But if it's one person, sometimes it's like, I don't know, because all of you have different apps on your phone and different interactions and things like that. So it's always a work in progress, and we do have a lot of improvements that we're working on. And some of these things just take time, weeks, months. But a lot of these things that we're trying to work and fix and improve, they're in the works behind the scenes. So this app is not done by any means. And those of you that have been around for, some of you have been here for like 4, 5, 6 years, maybe more. That Swole X has gone through a few overhauls as we've added new programs. We've changed things, moved it around. The app was only launched less than a year ago, November, December. So this is just the first initial iteration. And then as we have other adjustments coming and other improvements, it's just the beginning phases of this. So, but yeah, any feedback or any suggestions or things that you might have an issue with, definitely email us because it's important. The sooner that we know, the sooner we can get on that. And if we can make certain improvements and make certain adjustments, we will. And appreciate the feedback. Yeah, the community tab. I'm livid about this. I'm livid about the community tab. I've been trying to fucking, get this. I've heard a lot of people don't have the issues anymore, but I still get the issues sometimes, which is frustrating. So I understand, but yeah, it's really as easy as you close it, open it up again, and it works fine, but it's still frustrating. And I don't know why. I still don't know why. So I'm trying to figure that out. But that's something that's also important too, because as a membership and as a member, monthly or 3 months or annual, whatever your membership is, you're investing not just now in your health, but you're also investing in the future of the app and the future of Swolenormous and everything like that. So your support and being a member, this is why we're always trying to make improvements. So Danny's been a member since like 2017. Hell yeah, dude. And can tell you that things have changed and improved dramatically over the years, and they will continue to do so. And a lot of these big moves have to be done, as things get, I won't say more complicated, but we want to make sure that whenever we're making changes, and that's one of the most important thing, is when you're making a change, you got to make sure other things don't break, right? So I want to make an improvement here, but it's very easy to be like, let me change this. And then you change A, and then B, C, and D break. And it's like, fuck, we want to change A, but then it changes where the links are for here and the links are for here. And then, you don't want to change one thing and then, oops, didn't realize that had effects all the way down the line. So there's always a lot of testing and thinking through to the end whenever there's a change, whenever there's like a foundational structural change. But the fact that the app has just the search feature is so much, the search feature and playlists and stuff like that, and the scheduling is so important because there's so much stuff. And that was the most important thing that I wanted to do with this app, is make sure that you guys could find anything. There's so many yoga classes, right? 400 or 500 yoga classes, master classes. And then you just have a playlist. And this is like, just, you have favorites, or let's say you have my playlist, Yin for Hips. So you could have like a Yin for Hips playlist, your favorite Yin classes, or it could just be Yin, right? So you have Yin for Hips. Let's see. You can edit the class, right? You can remove yin from hips. You can remove the class. You can change your playlist, add a playlist here. You can have your favorites tab. So you can have things. You could search, right? Yin for back, yin, back. And you can add, as a filter, you can add yoga. And let's say you don't want it to be more than, I don't know, let's see, 60 minutes. So you can load that up and boom, yin for back, isolate for yoga, and then you have all your yin. And I said yin back, so it's going to pull up other yin classes too. So let's just do back. Let me not specify yin. So if I do back and I isolate yoga, let's say I want to do an express class. I want it to be less than 45 minutes. So it'll bring up every back yoga class, every yoga class that has back in it or targets the back or has some benefits for the back under 45 minutes. So you have some shoulders, which is totally fine. A lot of shoulders and back, it's related. Upper body, back bend flow, shoulders and back, gentle yin for lower back. So you can just add these to a playlist and then you don't have to search for them all the time. So if you find something you like or you're doing a certain protocol, add it to your current playlist. That way you don't have to go into the programming. Just, hey, I'm doing these workouts for this week. Add it to you're doing week 9. Add anything you're doing for week 9 or whatever you're doing, like my current week of training, and then add it to your playlist. Then you just go to your playlist. All right, current week of training. And then you have all the stuff you need in that playlist. And then you can come back to it. And then the next week you can set it up, this, that, and the other. So you can have your most important classes or meditation section, like your favorite classes in one place, and then you can just load up and go. So that's been the most important thing in my opinion. Candyman, I might join the cult. Yeah, the cult of gains. Do it. Do it. Yeah. So it seems like a lot of you are having less issues, or you're fixing all those like community issues, or sounds like there's been improvements. So it's coming. It's coming. So everything that I've seen from the feedback and from the changes that we've been making, it's only moving in the positive direction. Less people are having issues. So if you're still having an issue, I understand with anything, patience, and we're always figuring it out. But of course, I'm not in there in the code. That's one of the things with an app. I don't have the personal skills of like getting into the code and tweaking these things. So that's another thing when you have other members of your team that are more responsible and are able to actually do the work. Pros and cons, right? If I want to have an app, then there's going to have to be, and that's just part of running a business. When you want to expand, you have to get other people that are more proficient in certain areas if you want to expand. Otherwise, we wouldn't have an app because I'm not creating an app myself. So it's just part of the process, and appreciate you. Think about this. If you go to your app store, if you guys keep your apps updated on a regular basis, just like every day, you'll notice that some apps like Spotify or this or YouTube, like they're updating almost every day. Of course, you have millions and millions and millions of users and volume and thousands of programmers and stuff, but they're like pushing updates all the time. It's like security things, bugs, features. Like you go in your app store to update and you'll notice that some of these apps just update all the time. So we do a lot of updates, but they're push. They'll push. So you'll have an update that you don't have to, because you don't have to update a whole, like download a brand new app. It'll automatically update within the app. So most of the updates, that's why you notice you don't really have to update the app in the app store. They're just push. So like it'll just automatically update the next time you open. That way you don't have to go and download the whole new structure. It's not like a foundational update. The cult of gains needs to be a flag. I'm open to it. Let's see here. I sent a message to support for the military discount. You might see me there soon. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you're a first responder, military, send us that email. We do have membership discounts for those of you that serve. So let's get a little America for those of you that Fuck yeah! And then, of course, you guys know every Monday we're announcing new drops and new things. So we always have new content and new things that we're updating. So always new stuff. And yeah, I mean, I'll just show it again because we're kind of going down the rabbit hole with the app here. But new releases. So every time we drop something new, every single time, we all have it right there. So we have new merch there. And if you click on the new merch, Creatine Barrel, it'll just pop open within the app really fast. Like, boom, it's right there. You'll have your recipe, all the releases from the last week or 2 or 3. This is all the latest drops. Obviously, 2 weeks ago we did this. New merch, right? We have all these. The previous, or that was the same week, whatever. Weekend's philosophy the week before. So we usually do like 3, and then it cycles back around. So we usually keep it like the last 2 or 3 weeks in the new releases. So anytime, you don't have to worry about, oh, what's the latest stuff? What's the latest in the app? I don't know where it is. Right there. Anything we're adding new is right there for a couple weeks. And then, of course, it goes into the app, and then you can find it there later, too. Yeah. All right. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Let's wrap up. LET123, just curious, does that discount apply to surviving spouses? Yeah, I mean, you've been a member for a while, and since that's the situation, you can send us an email. Definitely open to extending that to you. So that's not something that we necessarily promote. I mean, that's a terrible situation, but yeah, yes, I am in favor of that. So send us an email if that's the case, Ellie, and then I'll put a flag out. I'll let the team know if that's something that you want to reach out about, and we'll help you out. So definitely definitely something that should. You make the greatest sacrifice like that. It should extend to the people that you leave behind, because that's what you did it for. Mark, does that discount apply to Dick Draft? Oof, that's a good question. The answer is no. The answer is no. I know. I'm sorry. I don't think you put in enough work, Mark. Mark's like, my dick is broken, man. It's broken, man. It's game over. It's game over. To Dick Draft Generals. Oh, Mark's going to be Sir Marquise. Dick Draft Generals. Oh my God. Self-inflicted wounds. It should, right? Talk about serving. Talk about serving. I don't know how proud you should be for that, though, but you're definitely picking up the slack for everyone else, especially in Chicago, man. It's brutal. Cerny says, what are you waiting for? The app has everything you need. Yeah, Candyman, you get texts from me too. Absolutely. And you know what? We did them before. Maybe we'll do some. I want to get more into that over the weekend. We did for the past, kind of did some back and forth. I've been sending a lot more messages, and I know sometimes some of you text me back on Swole text, and I just can't go back and forth. I can't go because so many messages, but sometimes I'll send you a text and I'll say, hey, I'm here chatting for a few. You have any questions? And I'll just go back and forth, and whoever responds right away for a short period of time, we'll do like 30 minutes of Swole texting, and then whoever's texting me, I'm just answering back and forth quickly. So, we're looking at expanding some of that stuff with like private coaching and more one-on-one and like exclusive training, just because the access is challenging when we have so many people on Swole text, which is great. It's a good problem to have, but definitely some of you that need a little bit more one-on-one attention, we are developing some other structures for that. And yeah, you'll get Swole text from me. You get access to the Telegram chat, all the exclusive updates, and the roundtables are great too. So next week we're planning to have a roundtable, which is, a call with myself and other members, hop on a call, talk shit, ask questions, whatever. It usually goes all sorts of directions. People are in their trucks driving for work. People are at work. People are off for the day, and just people hanging out in the morning. It's really cool. It's a really cool thing. So that being said, lots of stuff coming. We're just getting started. And as we've talked about before, I'm going a little long here. That's what she said. But now that the main gains and the bowl cream and everything are up, that was not overwhelming, but that was a huge thing to put together. So this is a huge, making sure everything worked well, making sure everything is good. Now that they're shipping, they're done. Now we'll start doing some more advertising and getting them out there. So this was a huge thing to finalize, and boom, now it's live. Cool. Now we can kind of, shift attention to some other things and yeah, appreciate all the support. It's been great and just the beginning. So these just launched 2 weeks ago. A lot of you are using them. You're seeing great results. Keep using them, and we'll get some testimonials and some feedback as more people have those positive experiences from it, and more for the weekend. So stay focused, stay on point. You'll be hearing from me over the weekend. We'll have some philosophy over the weekend, and let's keep on crushing it, fam. Love you. Peace, McGee, Deuce, Magoose. Yeah, boy. Papa Swoleo. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I gift rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
Then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
that's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Ay, yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closet.